Morning everyone. I'm just waiting for my brother to get here. Not that he's late at all, he's on time as usual. I just wanted to get a jump start today to get this video started. We've got a fair bit on today, so just wanted to get the ball rolling, talk about what we're going to go through today with the Whipper Snippers, and touching on two previous videos that I've done, the comparison videos. I missed out on the fuel tank sizes. So the Still has the largest fuel tank, which is great for acreages, followed by the Husqvarna, followed by the Bushranger. So that just ties in with that. Sorry, Brad's just got here now, I got distracted there. So what I want to talk about today, and what I was trying to show in a video yesterday, is the angle you walk with the Whipper Snipper determines which way it's going to flick all that debris, and that's handy to know, especially when you're up against a home with plenty of windows out the front. Like my property here has bifold doors. A major concern when you're using a Whipper Snipper is breaking glass windows. That's probably second most important, other than hitting someone or something, like an animal or a person, things like that. So things to consider and think about is definitely the way you walk. So you'll see in this acreage job, I can change the direction in which I walk. So whether I'm going straight on behind the Whipper Snipper or if I'm going acutely to the job, if you know what I mean. You'll see in the video, and it'll explain it a lot better, but there is a way to stop it flicking right back. So I've touched on working in an anti-clockwise direction, no matter where I am, acreages, residential, my own property. I just prefer to go in that direction. I find that this creates a better pattern for flicking that debris, and that's just the way the angle of the straight shaft Whipper Snippers, the heads. Sorry, Brad's just jumping in here. Morning. Yeah, so that determines which way it's going to flick, whether it's a bent shaft, or I'm pretty sure there's like an American brand, McCulloch. It'll go clockwise, which is designed for left-handers, which I like, but I don't really like the Whipper Snippers too much. They're a bit cumbersome to use. So everyone else that I've tried so far, Bushranger, Still, Husqvarna of course, they all go anti-clockwise when they're spinning on the head itself. So it makes sense to walk in that same direction rather than going clockwise and having that Whipper Snipper come back onto you, all over your boots, all over your legs, things like that. You would have seen in my video yesterday. It still happens going the other direction, but typically only when it's really long. So what else we got here? Yeah, so do the outside first. So on the acreage, I'll go around the whole outside first. And another thing I'll make mention quickly is I section acreages off into their own little corresponding areas, where when I'm about to run out of fuel, I've pretty much done that one section. I'll go and move on to another, and whether it's 3, 4, 5, depending on how big the acreage is, you got to section it off into a pattern, into a grid, where you can work your way back to your fuel container and then go again. So everything about it is efficient as possible. But yeah, do the whole outside first. Then you got inside obstacles. With those, I leave them till last, so I'll go all the way around the outside, start at the next inside obstacle, work my way back along until I keep coming back in that same fashion where I'm going back to where I started. Same goes with residentials. I tend to go out the backyard first, work my way back out to the ute. As I'm done with one bit of gear, that goes back onto the ute, nice and safe, all locked up, tied off. And then that way each time you're not going back and backtracking to go get your gear. And that's the biggest thing with whipper snipping, why you want to have a process. You don't want to be stepping back where you've just walked and not whipper snip anything. You want to be able to whipper snip everything as you're going. Same with your mowing. Go right down, don't have to cross over where you've been before, unless you have to when it's really long. Same goes for blowing down. Follow a process. I'm left-handed, so pretty much everything stays on my left-hand side. and I go around clockwise. Is the only time I do it, because I'm left-handed. But if you're right-handed, you would go anti-clockwise, and everything stays to the right-hand side, blowing around that way. And now with that, you can quickly get around obstacles if you need to give it a blowdown, but typically on residential blocks, it's really the concrete areas, in garden beds, and down through the edges where you've created a nice crisp edge with your snipper. So with two of us, say good morning, Bradley.
Morning, everyone.
With two of us, typically our times, I wanted to talk about residential times quickly. Just a quick side note here. 8 minutes, say mowing for the average block, 8 minutes, 6 to 8 minutes for the whip snippering, and like 4 minutes to blow down. So you do the maths there, and sort of 20 to 25 minutes by the time we weed spray some properties. That's typically an average size block and the time frame. So you do that and you get a few lawns in a row, close together, and that's the big thing. Get your roots sorted. So plan them. Have it so you're going to the furthest point and working your way back home, and have little dot points as you're going, as you're creeping home closer and closer. You've got more and more lawns all clustered together to pump out as many as you can in a day. So I'll leave it with that. That's pretty much all I had written down to follow up with the whip snipper, but you'll see in the video and the drone footage the direction in which I go and the pattern in which we use. Brad will be doing a chook pen today, hopefully, if we can get in there, if it's not too wet. But yeah, I spoke to the owners yesterday. They said the grass is fairly long, which I was expecting. All this rain, this is what happens, obviously. But with the grass types they've got as well, Kaiku and Buffalo, they're saying it's fairly long, like a jungle. So we're about to get very wet feet. It's bright and early, so everything's still nice and dewy. But yeah, we'll get on there with the whip snipper. Won't be using the ride on today, it's going to be too wet. So we'll do that, get some pruning done, and yeah, that'll be our day. We've got another acreage to get to, and yeah, good day. Good day. Alright, see you guys. Have a good one. May as well get a shot where we cut our cord. May as well. Thank you, Bradley.
Alright, Daniel.
Simple as that. Put it in your back pocket and away you go. Thank you, mate. Alright. Gonna get the drone set up in a minute. I'll get these warmed up. I might go over here. At least from here, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. The angle in which you position yourself to avoid getting flicked with grass or rocks. And then from there, the aerial footage will be tagged on once I get out of frame here. So, cheers everyone.
Am I just starting in the chook then?
Yeah, see how wet it is down in the chook pen? And then if it's too damp, I'll just get you going around the centerpieces again.
Yep.
From that far side working back to the ute.
Yep.
Also see, I'll go around this whole outside. I won't worry about this because like I spoke about before, as I come back along, I'll work my way down and around all the other obstacles till I go down around the corner on the far side, work my way back up and along till I come to here, and then once I get back here I can come straight along the back side of this garden bed, and then I've got another section I've got that goes way down there, and then there's the chook pen over the top, and we'll also have a big hill possibly to do which is behind me, but we'll see if we get to that today. It's only got 4 hours, so we'll see how we go. Alright, hopefully we've got enough battery on this camera. What you'll see as well when you're going around an obstacle in the centre and you're going to be using a ride-on, zero turn, tractor, doesn't matter, allow to get around that when you're edging. So if the tree sticks out so far, you edge that far because it's harder to get close. When the branch is down at head height on the zero turn, you want to get in nice and tight, allow for that. You know, all the corners of the block, allow for the corner to turn, come out a couple of metres just with a snipper, and then the mower will get the rest. So another little tip. See just how long it was. Alright, we'll leave that there. See if I get any more footage later. We've got to get into this. Thanks again, guys. See ya. Alright. Well, that's one down. Get out to another one, another acreage. Do another 4 hours out there for this afternoon, get this aircon cranking. And yeah, I thought I didn't sign off properly on that last video, so I'll do a sign off now. With everything that we've done today, I'll try and tag on some footage from yesterday's storm event. It come in thick and fast. Sort of went from the top of Queensland all the way down to the Hunter and a little bit further south than that. So if you know the eastern side of Australia, it's a fair hunk of a system to be moving down. But yeah, it was done within maybe half an hour of the most intense periods. And then yeah, that was after my lawn's all mowed. So probably 2 to 3 days I'll have to get back on there before it gets too long again. But anyway, do my little sign off over and out, whatever I've come up with. It's so funny. But anyway, I don't know what I'm going to start doing. I don't know what I'm doing half the time anyway. Alright, talk to you all very soon. See you later.
Yeah, catch you, mate.
Very motivated, very excited to get onto another job here. Alright, talk to you soon. Cheers everyone. Goodbye. Just in the nick of time with that lawnmower this afternoon.